Yo, 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 how's it going, everyone? Welcome to episode 74 of Danganronpa. And guess who's back?
I'm back from being sick for 2 weeks of something that wasn't COVID because I took 2 tests.
Were the tests hard?
They were very uncomfortable.
Probably. You know what? I've never taken a test. I haven't really needed to because I haven't really been sick too much in the past, 2 years.
Yeah, I only had stomach issues in the last 2 years.
Yeah. All of my problems has been stomach stuff as well.
And it was just from very acidic stomach issues from drinking too much coffee.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I poisoned you accidentally. I felt so bad about that. I was like, Brent, we have this new drink. It's got 5 shots of blonde espresso in it. It's really good. And then the next day you were like, John, I'm dying. I can't live anymore.
It was my fault for not eating with it, though.
I mean, that's, I guess, but I don't know. I gave you caffeine poisoning. It's like Danganronpa 2. I tried to kill you and get away with it by poisoning you with caffeine.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. Oh my god. We're back. We're back to the dialogue of the obvious. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I just see ice everywhere.
Yeah, there's just ice everywhere.
Can't be a freezer.
Nah, it's not a freezer.
There's a bong here.
Yeah, exactly, right? If I just stand still, I might end up freezing to death. I should hurry up and investigate so I can get out of here already. Hey, Brent, you remember this place?
Hey,
Monokuma.
It's the dead bodies from Danganronpa 1.
Yeah.
Where you pull them out and you look at the bodies and you reinvestigate them in chapter 5.
Yeah. I mean, we never pull them out, but there's a discrepancy that comes up where it's like, oh, this many people have died, but
there's a body missing.
But there's a body, yeah, pretty much. There's another manga just laying around here. This time the title is Manga for Morons, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. God, isn't this like the 4th one we've read? I knew it. The next one would obviously be about this incident. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, huh? Just what was that incident really all about? It might turn out to be something lame. I flipped through the pages of the manga and hoped that I was right.
Why? That would be a bad book.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly, right? No, it'd be terrible. A story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in such horrifying incidents. An incident known as the biggest, the most awful, most tragic event in human history. I hate the fact that is what the event is actually called. They're not just using random descriptors for it. That is actually the name of the event.
Yeah.
Is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with this sentence. The tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was simply the trigger. At first, the uprising by the Reserve Corps students that triggered the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. But the movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding the real world.
Well, the internet is very much affects the real world at all times.
So I mean, it does.
As soon as it started, it does affect the real world. So why are you trying to distinguish them?
No, man.
It's indistinguishable.
It's when the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest.
It's way too ingrained in our society now to be separate.
That is very true. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities soon came to light. By then it was too late. The ends and the means had vanished, and the wanton destruction became their only goal.
The best wonton.
The best, yeah. the strong butchered the weak. The weak killed the weakest among them, and soon the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear, as if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times when senseless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal.
So basically, the things that happen all the time, just not but now televised.
But now, like,
And okay.
all of it is televised.
All the description is happening at all times in every part of the world.
Yeah. So now people are okay with it. They're like, all right, whatever.
Just people are okay with it because they're just indoctrinated into it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened.
Yes, ESRB failed.
Oh, they did. Yes, they did so well for so long. But a feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coups d'etat began occurring around the world. A war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain.
It is now all rated E for everyone.
Yeah, every single... No, actually, this is how it works. Danganronpa or any game about murdering people, blah, 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 like Fallout or things like that, E, right? Things like My Little Pony, AO.
Yeah.
Like adults only, 100% only.
That's why furries don't seem to exist at this point.
There you
That's
go,
why
right?
all the bad guys
Yeah.
are Monokuma.
Well, unless somebody was actually dressed up as Monokuma the entire time, then they might be a furry. Pure war, and because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy, a group called Ultimate Despair. Instead of using Hope's Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they use them for the sake of mankind's despair. Key members of society use their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history.
I got distracted and started thinking about 4D again.
Oh my gosh. Oh. Well,
I'm like, stop thinking about that.
let's just say we had a long conversation about 3D, 4D, 2D, all that stuff beforehand, and it took like half an hour. So we're not going to go on that again, but maybe eventually. As long as Ultimate Despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. And apparently my controller...
this conversation has... Or the screen will never end either.
The screen will definitely never end either, apparently. There we go. The tragedy will never end. Well, that's fun.
Didn't want to end the book.
Yeah. my heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold.
You're in a freezer.
No, I wonder why. I feel ice cold? No, I don't even know what a freezer is. And it wasn't because I was freezing in this room. The biggest, most awful, most tragic events in human history.
How can you distinguish the difference?
I don't know. This is definitely all made up. Everything's made up. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening in the outside world?
That's just a very dramatic response. It wasn't because of this freezing room that I'm not wearing a jacket in.
Yeah. Oh gosh. My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant. What's happened to them?
No way!
Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you?
That flower always reminds me of the Yoshi's Story.
Which flower?
The flower that pops up when you first start.
Oh yeah.
It spins like the flower in.
Oh, like the N64 Yoshi Story? Yeah, no, I'll have to pay attention to it next time, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Who would enjoy reading something like this?
Oh my, you don't like manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy.
Enough! What is this messed up manga?
It's stereotype.
It is a stereotype, but I mean, it's Monokuma. He can stereotype all he wants. He's
borderline racist.
He hasn't said anything racist yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but...
I remember to have Monomi as a voice.
Dude, Monomi's like super dead, so you're okay.
I just remember that. Okay, I forgot that she died.
Yeah, man.
For you not to remember that, such despair.
I remember I had Monomi as a voice.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to speak that.
That's the Future Foundation's fault, though, thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during the period has been completely removed from your brains.
This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible.
What
How many times do I have to tell you? All the clues here are real. Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn, if you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it.
Whenever he puts his armpit up.
Okay, nice. It's like the stank coming from his armpit.
Yeah. Smells like flowers.
It smells like Yoshi's story.
I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world.
It makes me think, like, what do Yoshi smell like?
Oh, I don't know, actually. I think
Eating everything, always shitting out
eggs. Yeah. They probably just smell like eggs, honestly. Ugh. That'd be so gross. That's what he meant by what he said at the beginning.
Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted, On one hand, I'm really happy you're fine graduating, but on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay, so there's a world.
Okay, whatever. He's trying to make us feel despair toward the outside world, so we'll want to stay on this island. But there's no way I'm gonna do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. Perhaps. No, that's definitely it. Cool. We did it. Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is this ultimate despair group? If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Hope's Peak Academy to its destruction, are they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy?
No.
Plus, that organization isn't just one person, but a group of people.
How do you know that?
Because it's said in the manga.
But how do you know you could trust that? It's Monokuma's work.
But because he's deciding, because Monokuma's saying it's real, so we're just gonna believe him and say it's real. God, Brett, this game isn't built for your skepticism. But if they're known as Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right?
I want to make a video game where it has this type of character throughout the whole thing, and then I want to put myself in it as like a DLC thing. Where I go through it and go like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Stop assuming things.
Oh my gosh.
Start being skeptical of everything. Maybe you wouldn't be so friggin' surprised at everything.
Well, and this is the reason why I want to I feel like we should just make our own Danganronpa at this point. We'll just, we'll hire some people, make a Danganronpa game, but you're the main character.
Also,
and yeah.
That is one of the thoughts I had. It's like, there's a video game I've been working on for 17 years to the story of it.
Yeah.
Since I was like 18, 19. And I recently, in the last couple of years, came up with a part where after you beat the game, you play as a character who I want exactly to be me at my age right now. So
yeah.
So who just gets put there and has to deal with the stupidity of everyone. and it's DLC because it's not going to be an interesting story.
Yeah.
It's just going to be me. It's basically my character, me, just being pissed off at everyone for making stupid decisions. And just try to explain, why don't you just, do this? And basically he just becomes an overpowered character for overthinking so much.
Yeah.
and just, figures out how the world works of its magic and type of thing.
Oh my god.
And just, basically just becomes an all-powerful character. I'm trying to leave this planet.
Dude, I think every game company should have Brent DLC. Every video game, you should just be a DLC option to go through the game as you.
You'd see me in the main game. You can spot me walking around the game, just looking at people like idiots.
Yeah.
Why, hello, Hajime. I hope you're doing pleasingly well. Are you pleasingly well? You're pleasingly well, right?
What are you doing here?
No.
Well, there was another thing I needed to tell you on this floor. Teehee, I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth?
You should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place.
A high school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating Hot Pots.
He's getting one step closer. He's getting one step closer to becoming racist. He's almost there. I'm getting really fed up with your babbling. Hurry up. What did you need me to what do you need to tell me?
It's about that key piece of information you've been waiting for so long for.
What?
Surprise, it's the ultimate despair.
I would assume Monokuma would just say like, I'm biracial.
Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, that's true.
It's like, Georgie's Monokuma.
Ahem. Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days, it was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive.
A high school girl?
Yes, indeed.
Lady Junko Enoshima.
Junko Enoshima?
Hey,
As the former ultimate despair, she created despair brimming with charm and humor, and created the ultimate despairs. Oh, there was one really horrible person in that group.
don't fuck with me.
I just separated the word despair
Yeah.
and the ultimate despairs.
Despairs?
Yeah, so they just two people making fun of everyone.
dis, and then like a pair of dis.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking like dispairs, like two really like basically the same thing, but the people are pairs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a sec. I don't know what the ultimate despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl.
Clearly, when I said despair, I was going off the audio version of that.
Yeah.
You would say despair.
Despair,
But it's spelled despair.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways,
Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it.
Hey,
That holds true for Lady Junko. With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of power. Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place.
So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat? Then what was their purpose?
What?
Like I said, why did they cause that incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There is no way they'd do what they did without any purpose.
hey,
It was Junko Anoshima's despair.
Huh?
For Junko Anoshima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Anoshima as Junko Anoshima.
What are you saying?
I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Anoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving, for her everything is despair.
Well, what the hell?
that's not. No. Whatever. I'm gonna ignore this.
With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds.
Brent, I think we have to turn this into a drinking game, and every time you have something you want to like interject with, you have to take a shot.
If she was the ultimate despair, she'd be so despaired that she wouldn't be able to function, so she would end up dying because she just wouldn't think any point to anything. That's the ultimate despair. They don't live for very long.
I mean,
but if she's the ultimate living despair, I guess you could say that she would do all this, but she would only be by default because the ultimate despair would have been already dead.
I just think you're too big brain for Danganronpa.
And so the ultimate despairs who had been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko Anoshima.
The ultimate default despair.
Like believers making offerings to their god, like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair, all in Junko Anoshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do. There's no way something like that something that crazy is possible. Do you know about the final days of the Reserve Corps students during the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy?
Yes, it's everywhere. But as a refresher, please tell me.
Yeah, of course. Final days.
In other words,
Junko has the power to change people's values.
Oh, we had to start there. You didn't even know there was final days.
There you go. There you go, right?
This is also true of famous people throughout history.
Hey, what do you mean final days? What happened to the reserve department?
I don't understand. There couldn't have been final days. I didn't know about it till right now.
They fulfilled their role as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. And so the 2,357 students of the Reserve Department all committed mass suicide.
Mass suicide?
what'd you say?
All 2,357 students?
Oops, it wasn't all of them. One person was excluded.
One person was excluded, huh?
Oh, I wonder who it is.
Is that me?
Probably not.
No, probably not.
If you thought of it, it's not you.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you didn't think of it, it was probably him.
Yeah. Now, if Nagito tells us it's us, then, I mean...
Yeah.
Wow. I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Ultimate despair. Junko Enoshima. Doesn't scare me at all. I mean,
Bastard!
Junko Enoshima's already dead. Huh?
In a world where, what's his name? The Mr. Yelly dude was reborn as a robot.
Nakamaru.
Nakamaru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Fuyuhiko, is it true what you said? Junko Enoshima is really dead.
Huh?
What? You didn't see? There was a book called Manga for Morons, Killing School Life in that bloody classroom. A bloody classroom? No, wait, what was that you said about the killing school life? Like the killings we were involved in, they were killings that happened at Hope's Peak Academy. As I recall, the mastermind took her own life because the remaining students worked together to defeat her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. The killing school life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape from the academy.
Hey,
For a manga about the killing school life, it was drawn with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, the mastermind behind the failed killing school life was Junko Enoshima. The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko Enoshima is dead.
The amount of times they say Junko Enoshima is ridiculous.
Not as bad
Either
as...
shorten it to one name.
It's okay. It's not as bad as the biggest, most awful, whatever the fuck. It turns out that killing school life was part of that whole biggest, most awful, whatever incident. Junko took away the memories.
Finally did it.
Junko Enoshima took away the memories of former students of Hope's Peak Academy and forced them to kill each other. Former students of Hope's Peak Academy, and she took away the memories. That's just like us. Apparently.
Said she instead of her name.
We're getting better. Apparently, the whole thing was being filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. Dutch. I never know how to say that.
I can never say it in the middle of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I can figure it out later when I'm actually thinking about it.
Yeah, right? It's like, yeah. There's a limit to being a cruel asshole.
It's like just a click of your tongue. Like that.
Yeah. The surveillance cameras were broadcasting the whole thing.
so,
It's supposed to be a degrading sound.
Right. Yeah.
It's like they say something that you didn't want them to do, and you're like,
Right. Not a toucha. I think we should just start saying T'Challa.
T'Challa.
T'Challa. The students of Hope's Peak Academy are widely known as symbols of hope. By forcing people to watch these symbols of hope kill each other for the sake of survival. They were trying to fill everyone who watched the broadcast with despair all at once. That's messed up.
Clean it up.
But that messed up plan was stopped. Junko Enoshima failed. Junko lost to the students she placed in a trap, and after being overcome by the despair she created, she took her own life.
She seemed to really enjoy it though.
What, taking her own life?
Like enjoying losing.
Oh yeah, because that's ultimate despair. Because her losing is also giving her despair.
But she was happy about it, so it was not really that much despair.
No, but it's like because the situation is despairing or whatever, she gets enjoyment from
It's
that.
like I got to the point where I'm super happy about dying because I lost finally.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
I'm
it's
happy,
like
but I gotta be despaired.
well, because death is like the ultimate despair, right? Because that's like the finale. Like,
Okay.
yeah. So she's like, yes, I finally at the finale. I don't have to wait another like 50 billion years.
But is it really despairing if you really wanted it?
It's not. It's not that you're feeling. Well, I guess you're feeling despair, but you're also feeling like happy because you're gonna get to it. You can have both at the same time. I'm just gonna say this is one of those situations where they don't say if you're feeling despair, you can't feel any positive things. In this case, it's like you feel despair, but you're also, feeling happy about it.
I think this is a very simplified version of it to not be too complicated.
Yeah, because I mean,
so that people don't think that it's a good thing.
Yeah, and as well, it could just be for plot and just like for
maybe it's a ratings thing.
I mean, it could be as well.
I mean, they can't be happy about death.
Yeah,
they just can't.
Junko Enoshima isn't alive anymore.
It's rated AO.
AO for
Akane only.
Akane only. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. I love it. Who is our enemy? If Junko Enoshima is already dead, are the rest of the ultimate despairs behind this? Are the followers of Junko carrying out her will? That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the killings we're involved in resemble that killing school life. Well, I don't know who the hell is imitating Junko and making us go through this, but an imitation is just that. An imitation.
No shit.
If the students from Host Peak Academy stop the real deal, there's no way we'll lose to some fake. But if this really is an imitation, are those surveillance cameras the same too? The cameras all over Jabberwock Island. Are they broadcasting to somewhere, just like the surveillance cameras during the killing school life? So many questions. And I'm sure you have answers to all of them, but they're not gonna say those answers are correct. Simple as that.
Man, Hajime, you totally know about that story, huh?
What? Do you have a problem with that?
Well, I really wanted you to read the manga version since I took time to draw it.
What are you gonna
Oh
do?
well, I'll just raise the flag.
Flag? What do you mean raise the flag? What's gonna happen if you do that?
Ooh,
One step at a time, you're getting closer to clearing my character route.
You're not making sense again.
well now.
Now then, I'll give you guys my all. I'll tell you everything I know, including information on the outside and the inside. I'll raise them flags like crazy.
And we find out the flags are just his wieners. Just multiple wieners.
Not cool.
Yeah. Huh? It changed to a different hallway again. It's so sudden. What's going on to make something like this happen? No, I've already decided that I'm not going to be surprised. That's right, there's no time for me to be surprised by something like this.
It's a Sonic the Hedgehog level.
It's a Sonic the Hedgehog level? Why?
Because I forget which one. It's like they look like those square bricks moving along where you jump on and you wait.
Oh,
in the Sonic 2D games.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Akane's twitching her nose like a beast and examining her surroundings. Hey, what happened?
Where's the food?
Yeah.
Well, it's just my gut butt. Gut butt.
Your gut butt?
I feel like someone's getting closer.
Huh? What do you mean? Who?
So,
I don't know. It's just my gut after all.
It's just my gut.
But still, her gut is pretty impressive. For some reason, it's strangely intuitive.
It's a gut butt.
She's got a gut butt in her gut. Gut butt. And Monokuma did say something about the main cast coming.
Dumbest thing I ever came up with.
Oh my god. I mean, it just
kind of flows.
It's fantastic. It's surprising, but her gut butt must be... God damn it, I can't say gut now without wanting to say gut butt. Her gut butt must be correct again this
Kind of
time.
fun to say.
It is. The problem is we'll never be able to see her gut butt because she will always look at us.
Never turns around.
She will never turn around ever. Okay, so apparently the main cast is coming, according to what Monokuma said. So
those dots on the screen, like, they look like the time I had such a bad migraine that I couldn't see.
Oh no.
Like in like 80% of my vision.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of what it looked like, but it was mostly gray and white.
Oh.
Because everything just kind of meshed in those dead zones.
Right.
Just think of it like, you know that you can't see anything in your peripherals in some places? Right?
Yeah.
Think that, but expanded right out until you can only see like that much.
Oh, okay.
So, what's a good reference to that? Something. Think of it like a 2-liter bottle. The width of it.
Yeah.
The circumference of it.
Yeah.
That's how much I could see from like about a foot away from my face.
Oh, jeez.
So
that sucks.
And then it was in the middle. It moved around.
Yeah.
To quadrants of my vision.
Yeah.
And it was in the middle of class, drafting class. So I could not see the screen unless I moved my eyes to look at the bottom corner of the screens, and I'd have to keep moving my vision to like the edges of the screen.
Right. Yeah.
Just in order to see the center. And it lasted like an hour, and I had to go to the doctors afterwards.
Oh no, brutal, dude. And not just that. Okay, basically, Mahajime's noticed a floating monument in the center of the room, and he's like, "I think I see something." And and not just that. The mark engraved into the monument is the symbol of the Future Foundation, right? Below that symbol, there's a short passage engraved. To combat the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy were among the many who established the Future Foundation. Whoa, that's a plot twist. Huh? The Future Foundation was established by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy? Aren't they known as World Ender? This is completely different. Monokuma, he completely made it up. Dang, look at that, man. So it turns out the Future Foundation was made by the graduates of Hope's Peak Academy.
Future Foundation Origins? Is it like Final Fantasy Origins?
Exactly. That, yep.
I've yet to play that because I gotta wait till I get a PS5.
Oh, dude.
I'll be able to play it in 2 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's gonna be quite a while. What is this? Words are floating in the air. This is like a hologram, right? The floating letters are forming a sentence. It looks like a passage from an email. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have obtained information. A person who claims to be a survivor of Hope's Peak Academy. Upon further investigation, there are a total of 15 survivors. You may be wondering about the number of people at this time. If they're survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, it's possible they may be targeted by ultimate despair. We believe we should acquire them and place them in our care as soon as possible. Though I don't believe the group can go that far without Junko and Ashima rallying them. In a worst case scenario, we must prevent a repeat of the killing school life.
So wouldn't the ultimate despair would be Junko unable to do anything that she wanted to accomplish? She would never, it should be everything that she wants to do, she's unable to accomplish that. That's ultimate despair.
She's dead. So
yeah, I'm just saying that. That's the definition of ultimate despair.
Yeah, it's okay,
no matter what
sure.
you try to do, you could never accomplish the thing that you set out to do. That is ultimate despair.
I guess
the fact that she succeeds in any of it proves that she's not ultimate despair.
But she's creating more despair by succeeding.
But it would have existed there.
Think of it. Okay. Think of it. Okay, you know how everyone in this game is like, okay, the ultimate mechanic, right? Or the ultimate this. In this case, ultimate despair. It's not feeling despair necessarily. It's like a skill, like creating despair.
Ultimate creation of despair.
Yes, but that doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
So they just say ultimate despair. I think that's what they're kind of going for. Also, if they're survivors of Hope's Peak Academy, we should expect them to be quite valuable to us. However, we are still investigating the details of their origins, and we haven't located them either.
So there's qualifying words to them. So the ultimate despair inflictor,
Yeah.
ultimate mechanic repairer, ultimate mechanic destroyer.
Yeah, there you go, right? Yeah.
I get what they're getting at. They're just simplifying the title.
Yeah. Also, regarding a separate matter, we have received a report from the research facility on Jabberwock Island. Preparations have been completed. It seems we can proceed with the experimental phase of the Neo World program.
So there could be multiple people with the name Ultimate Despair, but
Yes.
the one who accomplishes more to that title gets the title of Ultimate.
I mean, I guess it's kind of weird though, because there can be multiple ultimates, right?
Yeah.
Because Makoto Naegi was the ultimate lucky student, and then also Nagito Kamida was the ultimate lucky student.
So
right.
the Ultimate Lucky Student.
So there can be like repeats. Like being the ultimate just means like you reach a threshold and like surpass it, right? That's why you can have like multiple people be the ultimate because
I'm thinking, okay, now that you say that,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of it more as like a tier of ability.
Yeah. And the other thing is like
The highest tier is Ultimate.
if you've seen the anime, like for the first, you saw like a little bit of the anime,
Yeah.
the first one. They don't even call it ultimate; they call it super high school level,
Okay.
right? So like in this case, it'd be super high school level lucky student or something, or a super high school level despair. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes more sense than thinking of it as like one person could be the best only. at this.
It's not. Yeah, it's
It is
definitely not like
the
that.
best of the best tier of doing this.
Yeah, you would also think there'd be a lot more diversity in the students if it was the ultimate, like #1 in the world.
Yeah.
Right? Because in this case, they're all pretty much coming from Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that about us? Excluding Chiaki, who is part of the Future Foundation, there were definitely 15 of us, but what does survivors mean?
I don't know. Maybe you're dead.
It's like they're talking from some other world. What happened outside Jabberwock Island? If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is really true, then the world isn't normal anymore, maybe. I'm starting to feel like we might be better off not remembering the memories we've lost. Cool.
How does that help anyone? How does it make the game interesting?
Because you know what? We'll figure that out on the next episode if this game will be interesting or end interestingly. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this episode, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, do the things you do for everyone else, but do it for us. And I don't know, man. How you feeling? How you feeling about this game? Even though we're like literally almost at the end.
I'm finally understanding a bit about this game.
Nice. It's good. It only took like, well, technically 7 chapters if you count chapter 0 as a
And
chapter.
the whole game comes playthrough of the first one.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah, it's taken many
And a bit
hours.
of the anime.
Yeah. Well, you've seen.
I've seen the first 2 episodes and the last one of
Yeah.
the 1 season of the first game.
Yeah, pretty much. There's more to uncover, but yeah.